Might make you cry, will probably make you angry, will most assuredly make you laugh, and is guaranteed to make you think. 3-6 Nation Radio, where no topic is too hot, no take is too cold, with Monica Livingston. 3-6 Nation Radio, in 3, 2, 1.
We're in the building, and you just got in the building.
You don't even know. I feel great. I feel excited.
What you guys didn't see, I was hoping that you were going to catch him sliding in. Yes. But
no, ma'am. It's not how this guy rolls. It's not what we do.
Tell me about your Uber experience just
I'm in the Uber. People
Yes.
don't believe me. And I have
hold on for a second. The reason I had to say that is because he was going to tell us any damn way. So go ahead. Tell us about your Uber experience.
So I'm in the Uber,
Yeah.
and I asked the woman, what do you think about D.C.? Where are we going? You know, what's the direction? And we're talking
This
about
is what
voting,
you asked your Uber driver.
This is what you ask every Uber driver.
Most people just get in and
This is
ride.
why-
Most people ride. But go ahead, Ivan.
So she starts talking to me, and she tells me the best, she's like, we have to have control over our city, over our politics. But she said, you know what? No matter what, if we would have voted, he would have still been in here anyway. She said, because we live in the microwave generation. And then she began to unload on me the hot pocket
Unbelievable
theory of politics.
This is happening. Woo! Go ahead.
We live in the microwave generation. We want to be hot and fast.
Right.
And they put that in there, and Donald Trump was hot and fast.
Yeah.
But what they didn't realize is that when they opened that microwave and they popped out what they want, what they thought they wanted,
Open the microwave.
it was lava on the outside, and ice in the inside.
Oh, Lord.
And they can't eat it, and they can't spit it out, but they're hungry. And that is correct.
Hungry.
They don't know how to make good
Hungry.
food, good, necessary.
Uh-huh.
I cannot abide. Woo. So we're having this conversation in the Uber, and I'm going on and on about voting, and she's talking about going to Jamaica and absentee ballots, and boy, oh boy, I love this city.
You always love this city. I love this city too.
All right.
So thank you for joining us on 3-6 Nation Radio. Well, I guess we're supposed to look, new word, vodcast. No more radio, vodcast.
Vodcast?
Yes, because you visual, audio, pod. I guess that's what we're
that's
going to
how
go
we
with.
do
Yeah.
it.
Radio you can watch, as Jeremy likes to say.
That's how we throw down a vodcast.
Thank you for joining our vodcast. Listen, we've got a show lineup. We're already, it's already 5:09. We're gonna have to get to it. We have on the show today Keith Ivey from the Junior MBA program.
Fantastic.
He's doing some fantastic things in the community with the Junior MBA clinics and camps for young people using sports to help them gain scholarships and self-esteem. And he's got an event that's coming up at the National Harbor. I think in the spring. He's going to tell us about that. He was going to come all the way up here, but I told him, save his gas, so he's going to call in today.
He's going to call in.
Yeah, he's going to call in. That's just one of our fans, one of our people that come to the station all the time. And then we have Niall Diggs, former Green Bay Packer, NFL superstar. He's joining us. The thing that I love about Niall is that, he had a bunch of money, as you would assume, because he played in the NFL. Cha-ching! And then he lost a bunch of money.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah. And then now he's got the money back. And so what he's going to do is he's going to help us hold on to our cash.
Hold on to it?
Right, so that we're not in the same situation as him.
Packers are my favorite team.
Really?
I didn't want to say that because...
I didn't want you to say that either, but it's appropriate today.
I'm pleased. I'm excited. I know a little bit about this topic.
I'm going to be outnumbered with you and Niall on the phone, but he played for a couple other teams, so we're going to actually ask him who his favorite team is. He's going to call in. And then in studio, we have Richard Siegel and his guitarist. The guitarist's name again, shout it out. That's Ethan Mendek, and Ethan's going to talk to you guys and give you a little bit more information about him when it's time for him to play. But Richard is a friend that goes way, way back, and this is for you. This is like Christmas for you. He's got a Trump song, that's all I'm going to say, that I think you will enjoy tremendously. I told you I love you,
I'm so excited.
This is for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to pay some bills real quick, take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back with our news, and then after that, we'll start getting these guests on the line because, hey, this 3-6 Nation Radio, that's how we get down. Peace.
Thought about launching a broadcasting career? Think you have what it takes to become a broadcasting professional? Learn the skills that will make people want to tune in. Join Monica Livingston, radio personality and owner of 36 Nation, for a career development workshop on what it takes to be a radio DJ, sportscaster, and news anchor. Find out how the former DC diva and owner of 36 Nation manages her own live internet radio show. Sign up for a workshop today where Monica doesn't just share broadcasting tools, she puts you on the air.
I love how USAA gives me the peace of mind and the security just like the Marines did. At one point I did change to a different company with car insurance and I was not happy with the customer service. We have switched back over and we feel like we're back home now.
The process through USAA is so effortless that you feel like you're a part of the family.
I love that I can pass the membership to my children and that they can be protected. We're the Williams family and we're USAA members for life.
Call USAA today to talk about your insurance needs.
If you can play, you can play.
If you can play,
You can play.
If you can play, you can play.
We are all
champions.
We are all
Red Hawks.
Red Hawk
For life.
Our staff, coaches, and student athletes welcome students of all races, religions, genders, sexual orientation, and national origin. We advocate and support the LGBTQ community.
We play.
Together.
We win together.
If you can play,
You can play.
At Montclair State University, if you can play, you can play.
if you can play, you can play.
If you can play, you can play.
All right, hot news right here. What do you got for us?
Nancy
Come on,
Pelosi,
I know you got something.
77-year-old powerhouse congresswoman, she is the the House Minority Leader.
Right.
She stood for over 8 hours and read into the congressional record stories, letters from DACA individuals. And she read them, and they were pleas to Congress to save their lives.
8 hours. You're getting a little choked up. 8 hours.
She's a 77-year-old woman in 4-inch heels. No bathroom breaks, no walking
I was going to ask you, no
you
bathroom.
cannot leave. The rule is you can speak as long as you can speak, but as
I
soon as
thought
you
you
sit down,
did get a birthday.
this was not a filibuster.
Oh, right. Okay. So filibuster, that's right. You can get a bathroom break. Okay.
Which is crazy. If you're going to filibuster, just filibuster.
Right. Like,
right?
you
You
tag.
got one thing. It's pain. It's pain for everybody.
Yeah. 8 hours. And what was the response? What's people weighing
The
in?
response, the RNCCC, which is the Republican National something.
Who cares? Them.
They responded, "Dear at Nancy Pelosi, every minute that you stand on stage makes our job easier.
Wow.
Thanks,
Wow.
RNCC."
That's what they said.
That's what they said.
They tweeted, or was that
That was
like
a tweet. Yeah.
asinine?
Now here's the problem that I have is a letter from someone, a letter from me to you,
Right.
is an expression of genuine communication, right? I wrote
Okay.
a letter. I want you to know something about me.
Sure.
And I wrote this letter to you so it could hear to the world. And Nancy Pelosi read this letter as an appeal to the humanity and to the morality of the American spirit. And it was such a brave and powerful act. And the response from the other side was, "Thank you." That was the exact wrong thing to do.
So listen, what I'm not worried about is that got us
terrified.
fired up. It got us fired up, right?
It got us. You know what? I'm afraid.
Listen,
at the darkness.
I know, but you're talking to the Uber driver.
I'm talking to the Uber driver. Everybody's fired up.
Everybody's talking. So that's the good thing, right?
We are coming to save you, DACAs.
When we get fired up, good things happen. People unite and they put their heads together, and that's where real change happens. So, speaking of change, let me change the subject here, right? Because that was deep.
I'm heavy. It's too much.
Did you hear about the girl that flushed her hamster down the toilet on a plane? Told you I was gonna switch it up. So listen,
Monica.
I'm sorry, but listen, she had a what do you call it? The pet when an emotional support animal, and she said that her hamster was the emotional support animal, and so she had called ahead of time and said, "Hey, can I bring my emotional support hamster on the plane?" And she was told by someone at the airline that yes, she most certainly could bring the hamster. The hamster got through, TSA. Went on in the cage. He went through the little thing. They X-rayed him. He ain't had nothing in him. He gets there. It's time to board the plane, and they tell her you can't bring the hamster on. All right. She starts kirking, of course. Well, because she needs an emotional support animal. Of course, this is not going to be easy for her to take. And one of the flight attendants suggests that she either let the hamster free or flush it down the toilet. Those were the options that they gave. She said that she missed her first flight because she was distraught. And she was like, what am I going to do? So she it took about 2 hours for the next flight. So she was just debating. She didn't want to let him go because that was my first thing. I was like, why not, let him go? She tried to call her friends, come pick him up. No one, they were on college break, so no one could come and get little Scruffy or Fluffy or Hammy, whatever his name may have been. I don't know. I'm sorry. Anyway, and so then she said he would freeze to death if she let him go or starve, and she thought that would be painful. So she put him in the toilet and flushed it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful to hamsters. Flushed him. Now, here's my question to you. Okay, listen. Are we going too far? There, see, look at this up here. Show that again. This is what the hamster looked like. Help. Help.
Monica.
I don't even know if that's a picture.
Monica, everybody I'm sorry.
Listen, I have the question, then we have to move on.
Ask me a question.
Are we going too far with emotional support animals? Can any animal be an emotional support animal? And that's the first part. And second, should we allow all emotional support animals on flights? What are your feelings and thoughts?
Yes.
All right, do tell me.
Not all animals are emotional support animals. Emotional support
How
animals.
you know what I get emotional support from?
It's not about you. It's not
Okay.
about you.
Well, do explain.
The animal is trained to respond to stress, to human stress. It's like this is a blanket that warms when I get cold. Like it does a thing.
Sure.
It does a job.
And you're saying the hamster doesn't have that ability because
I'm not
his brain.
saying that.
I'm saying you ain't
I'm
met
saying
my hamster.
I'm saying peacocks aren't. This woman tried to bring a peacock on a plane.
Yeah, the peacock was that was a
That
stretch.
was too much. I don't believe every animal is going to be in a good emotional support animal.
Yeah.
But like a hamster, that's a little thing. Like
Right.
it's not distracting. It's
Right.
not noisy. It's
I wouldn't
not
have cared
loud.
if she had the hamster.
Nobody would have.
I don't want the peacock up.
Peacocks are
peacocking
dumb and
around.
dangerous.
Yeah,
they have talons and claws.
yeah.
Someone tried to do an emotional support peacock. I draw the line there.
That would have been.
You
okay.
could have every real emotional support animal that is not dangerous.
Can you have an emotional support snake? Maybe we should ask Jeremy.
I say
You guys,
yes. Is that a thing?
station owner
freaked out
is
about snakes?
Jeremy is deathly afraid
How
of
can
snakes.
someone be afraid of a snake?
Yeah, can't you just get away from the snake?
They climb up your shoulder and they like wrap around you. They just want to. I'm doing this because he's gonna watch this later and
Right.
he's gonna freak out.
Yeah.
But they wrap around your neck and they're just like
Just
nice.
sit there like a scarf,
Like a
like a
scarf,
very
like a
tight
happy-
scarf. Jeremy, we have a scarf for you. Okay. Anyway, so that was my news story. I agree with you.
That's a crazy world.
I'm sorry that the hamster's gone. I feel bad for the girl. She got on the flight. They gave her a free ticket. That was their apology. They told her that the next time she wanted to fly, they gave her a voucher. They didn't even give her her money back the next time. So of course she rejected the voucher. Now she's thinking about suing the airline. They're
Nothing
going
can
back
replace a
on
life,
it.
Monica.
I know, right?
Certainly not $229 in JetBlue.
And the hamster probably costs $29, right? Maybe, with all this food and stuff. So anyway, that's that. And I don't know how I really feel about it, but I think I'm like you. Every animal can't be an emotional support animal. Maybe we can start like transporting. Maybe there's a certain flight for you and your animal. I don't know.
Like a public party club. Like you can like Noah's
Sure.
Ark.
Yeah, sure. Maybe we'll get Tesla in on that. Anyway, we're going to go to break, and then when we come back, we're going to have Richard Siegel perform his song, and then later we'll be joined by Keith Ivey and Niall Diggs. We'll be right back to 36 Nation Radio.
Come on, hustle. Get your head in the game. Come on.
Are you setting the right example for your kids?
Are you even trying? The ball's down there. What are you doing? You need to get some confidence.
Come on, hustle up, get up there.
Reviewing last year, ad revenue has declined 15%.
Come on, get your head on straight.
Before your child's next game, ask yourself, how would you like it if they copied your behavior?
There are many ways which we can improve.
That's for sure. You need to get some confidence.
Positive Coaching Alliance has valuable tips and tools to help our kids perform their best while keeping sports enjoyable for everyone. Their development zone is a great resource for parents like us. Positive Coaching Alliance, creating better athletes, better people. Learn more at positivecoach.org/Fox Sports.
I love how USAA gives me the peace of mind and the security just like the Marines did. At one point I did change to a different company with car insurance and I was not happy with the customer service. We have switched back over and we feel like we're back home now.
The process through USAA is so effortless that you feel like you're a part of the family.
I love that I can pass a membership to my children and that they can be protected. We're the Williams family and we're USAA members for life.
Call USAA today to talk about your insurance.
It's Sean Parker here, and whenever I want some good food in nice-sized portions, not bird-sized food, but big boy portions, I look no further than the Crystal City Sports Pub. Now, if you just stayed on the original first story of the restaurant, you'd be more than happy with the pool tables and the aforementioned good food, but then they went and added a grand second story with, check this out, 6 37-inch LCDs, 2 8-foot projection screen TVs, and a 10-foot projection screen TV, and as a cherry on the top, a state-of-the-art sound booth. They're open 365 days a year, and they are waiting for you. The Crystal City Sports Pub, 529 23rd Street South in Arlington, Virginia. Call them at 703-521-8215 or visit them on the web at ccsportspub.com. It's Sean Parker.
Hey, 36 Nation, we are back. We have musical talent in the building today. Richard Siegel is here and his guitarist, Ethan. I'm going to hand over the microphone and let them do their thing. This is a treat. Donald Trump, this one's for you. Richard.
Ethan, announce yourself.
Hi everyone, how's it going? I'm Ethan Benedict and I'm a singer-songwriter.
Okay.
So, Richard Siegel, everybody.
My name is Richard Siegel, and I am about to sing a parody of Back in the USSR called Trump in the USSR. Flew in Air Force One with Melania.
And it's gonna be proud to Putin.
Struck an arms deal with Saudi Arabia. While I left the country in ruin, I'm back in the USSR. You don't know how lucky you are, boys. Trump in the US, Trump in the US, Trump in the USSR. Sally Yates, I knocked her out. Hired that Jew, Rosenstein. And James Comey, I knocked him out. That nut job's always on my mind. Take me to the places where they write fake news. All I'm gonna do is tweets.
Money is back in the White House.
But I don't expect no treats, so I'm back to the USSR. I know it seems a bit bizarre, boys. Back in the US, Trump in the US, Trump in the USSR. Ukraine girls really knocked me out, and Donald Jr. almost did. And Jeff Sessions won't even help me out. But Jared Kushner is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful yid. Yow! They flew in Papadopoulos and Manafort. My friends Michael Flynn and Putin. If I don't fire more, I might be going to court. Yeah, that's just what I might be doing. I'm back in the USSR. I know it seems a bit bizarre, boys. Trump in the U.S., Trump in the U.S., Trump in the USSR. Thank you.
Hey, I know you got plenty of questions. Tweet, Facebook, get at us on social media. We're going to be right back. We're going to take a very quick break, and then we're going to talk to Richard. See how Ivan is so excited about that song. He's going to be up at night just singing it. So back in the USSR, 3-6 Nation, we'll be right back after this.
Thought about launching a broadcasting career? Think you have what it takes to become a broadcasting professional? Learn the skills that will make people want to tune in. Join Monica Livingston, radio personality and owner of 3-6 Nation, for a career development workshop on what it takes to be a radio DJ, sportscaster, and news anchor. Find out how the former DC diva and owner of 3-6 Nation manages her own live internet radio show. Sign up for a workshop today where Monica doesn't just share broadcasting tools. She puts you on the air.
We are back, 3-6 Nation. Richard, amazing. Thank you very. So you do this.
Yeah,
you write music.
Yeah, I've had. Well, I write words to music. I write song parodies. I've had around 30 of them on the radio over the years.
Do you just? I am very, very topically inclined.
Yes. They're always political or social commentary.
Talk to me about what's going on. Why you? I don't want to go into it. I don't want to I don't want to set you up, right? Like, this is a crazy world we're living in.
Yeah, I mean, you got to admit, as much as I despise the man, Trump is great for comedy.
Oh, man. I live on H Street. Yeah. Across the street from my house is a RT van.
Yes.
Just parked there.
Yes.
That says, lose an election?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you.
Blame us.
My fantasy in life, my dream is to have Donald Trump tweet about me.
Oh.
I want him to hate me so much that he tweets about me. That's
just to be that thorn
exactly.
in his side.
Yeah, I'm a comedy activist. That's what
everybody does what they bring. They bring what they have.
Yeah.
So what other songs have you done?
I've had a couple of national hits. I did a song to Billy Joel's Stiletto about John and Lorena Bobbitt. It was called The Cutting Game. And yeah, I know. I wrote it when I was in the dentist chair, actually getting a cavity filled. Yeah, I felt for the pain.
Gas will have that effect.
Yes. No, it wasn't on gas. I was just getting the cavity filled, and I was like, man, it could be worse.
It could be worse. That's a motto.
Yeah. And I wrote a song called to the Friend of the Devil, called Friend of Ayatollah, about Iran scam. So that's going way back. But pretty much any time some national thing comes up,
you produce the funniest
celebrity in Washington. Yes.
Celebrity
in Washington. Yeah,
we've got a couple of those.
Yeah. Well, we've had it.
Talk to me about this competition.
Well, we've had Senator Lieberman, Tom Daschle. We've had Dennis Kucinich. We had Dennis Kucinich and Ed Gillespie, who ran for governor of Virginia. The two of them were both ventriloquists, and they were doing.
They're both ventriloquists.
They're both ventriloquists, and they were doing dueling ventriloquism. It was awesome.
At each other?
And no, actually, they were both. The dummies were insulting themselves. It was great. The dummies were insulting the. Now I got to tell you, the Republican dummy was bigger. But it's just Anyway, but yeah. So the Funny Celebrity in Washington has gone on for 20 years, and we're going to do it again in December. It's always for a charitable event,
Who do we have this year?
We haven't really started the planning. I mean,
it's coming.
It's coming. I want to do it after the midterm elections because then things will get a little more interesting.
Things will be changed.
But we had a spin-off of the funniest celebrity. We had a couple of them. We had one in San Francisco, one in Baltimore, and then we had the funniest sports celebrity. And Monica was more than 1 year, 2 or 3 years even. 2 years was the funniest sports celebrity.
I'm sorry, Monica D. Livingston.
Yes, I presume. Yes.
Was rated the #1 funniest comedian.
No, funniest sports.
Funniest sports celebrity.
Yes. Only in Washington.
Monica D. Livingston.
She's hilarious.
Was rated the #1.
Yes, she is
funniest
hilarious. Yes.
Sports
celebrity.
Athletic celebrity.
You got the trophy, right?
I want to see this ring.
Yeah.
She brags about her championship rings. This is the one that she should have been flaunting.
Exactly.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see this.
Yeah. So we did that event for we've done that event for 20 years, and it's just part of my life. I actually have a book. I wrote a book. Yeah, it's called Running on Empty, but running a little late.
Aww.
And that's me and my son when he was little, and it's kind of just a pick yourself up every time you fall down. I kind of consider myself like I don't know. Do you remember the Rock'em Sock'em robots?
Yes.
Yes. So the robot punches the other robot and knocks the block off, and then all you got to do is push the robot's head back down, and he's ready to start fighting. That's me. I'm a Rock'em Sock'em robot. So many years ago, some people collect coins, some people collect stamps, some people collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I collect coronary stents. I have 13 of them. And
coronary stents.
Yes. So it's funny that we're doing Heart Month, but I've come back from a couple things, and then I had a quintuple bypass. And
that means 5?
5 arteries, and so that's kind of what this book is about. Is just there's a lot of poetry.
Thank God for science.
Yeah. Oh man, I think I'm the $500,000 man. I think I spent $500,000 on me, you just gotta get up, so that's kind of the idea. So after the quintuple bypass, and I lost 50 pounds.
Excellent.
And so now
that's a type of diet.
Yeah. No, it wasn't from that. I purposely started eating well.
Good.
I walk 7 miles a day, and
congratulations.
And thank you. Yeah. So I really worked at it, and in best shape of my life. In my 50s.
Feel good.
Feel great.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So just never let them punch you down, and you get up. Kind of like Joe Frazier. Just come down. And Muhammad Ali floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee.
I love this. Yeah. I have a picture of him on my desk. All right, 2 more questions.
Yeah, sure.
#1, where can people get the book?
You can just write to me at one of my jobs is I work at North American Network, which you can Richard at nanradio.com, and I'll let them know how to get it. And what's the other question?
When can we see some more?
Some more?
Yes, we want to see more things.
Okay.
How do we get in contact? How do we follow up? Do we YouTube you and Facebook and all that?
Go ahead. You can. I do have a SoundCloud, Richard Siegel, Siegel, and you can just email me if you want.
I want some stiletto.
Yeah,
action.
stiletto. Yeah.
I am gonna have to.
Parody Doctor, PARODYDR at yahoo.com. You can just email me and you can see whatever you want, and you can have me back,
sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
We are 36 Nation. I'm going to give this back to Monica. We're going to go out in all the things magic.
If you can play, you can play.
If you can play,
you can play.
If you can play, you can play.
we are all champions.
We are all
Red Hawks.
Red Hawk
For life.
Our staff, coaches, and student athletes welcome students of all races, religions, genders, sexual orientation, and national origin. We advocate and support the LGBTQ community.
We play.
Together.
We win together.
If you can play,
you can play.
At Montclair State University, if you can play, you can play.
If you can play, you can play.
If you can play, you can play.
I love doing that, Monica.
I know.
I love that voice.
I know.
It just doesn't that word.
Thing,
People are like, I heard of this 3-6 Nation thing that you do, because I just walk around saying that.
So Niall Diggs is on the phone with us now.
Yes.
I am just like honored. I mean, like 2 NFL players for me in a row in 2 weeks. Echelon. Like, I know, man. This is getting big. Okay. So let's see if we can get him on the phone here. Let's see. All right, Mr. Diggs, are you there?
I am here.
Hello, Niall. How are you living?
Hello. I'm living very well. How about yourself?
Oh, we can't complain at all here. We are having a good time here at 3-6 Nation doing what we do, which is whatever we want to do, whenever we want to do it.
That's correct.
I don't know if you've been watching the show or if you, if you saw what happened here, but yeah, we have a little bit of everything that goes on here. So
that's the only way to have it. Is have variety.
That's right. So listen, I wanted to give you plenty of time to talk. You played in the NFL. Walk us through a little bit of your story. I know that your platform now is financial literacy for athletes, but I think also for just, lay people or broke people like me and Ivan. And you're traveling around giving tips. So walk us through your journey because, you think in the beginning, you get an NFL contract. That's it. You remain a baller for life, and it didn't work out that way. Talk to us.
No, that doesn't work out for many players. Most players do not get that status when they sign their first contract. It really started when I retired from the NFL 6 seasons ago and started seeing and reading about others still making the same mistakes financially that I made 10, 12 years previously. Okay. So I not only wanted to really affect those former players who I hold near and dear to my heart because I've been in those seats. I know what it's like to go out on the field and sacrifice your body and to put your mind and your time at risk. But also what I really found is that affecting the youth before they get to that point. So going and talking to middle schoolers and hopefully even elementary level kids and just teaching them just basic fundamentals that they're not getting in their classrooms. And there's a whole political conversation we can have about that, but the point is that they're not getting it. As of today, they're not getting it. So someone I feel like should be in a position, an organization which I'm proud to be a part of, which is Asset Builders of America. We go around to different schools around the country and we teach these young boys and girls the basics of not only financial literacy, understanding how to balance a checkbook or what interest is, but also how to write resumes, their entrepreneurial spirit. Some of these young souls have great, really world-changing ideas, but they will never have the opportunity to get that out or to express it because they don't have they were not taught how to write a resume or to pitch their idea to someone. If they ask, hey, what's your idea? They can't do it in 30 seconds. It's a lot of eye contact and shaking their hands with, loose grips and things like that just are subtle changes to their demeanor and their behavior to hopefully impact and impact their lives and be successful.
Wow. Now, how young are we talking? How young are you guys starting?
So we've got 13-year-olds. We just completed a Go For It event at my alma mater, Dorsey High School in South Central Los Angeles, Saturday. And there were some as young as seventh graders in there.
Wow.
And so and really, I know, Monica, you would like this, 95% of the kids that were in there were females.
Oh, shucks, we about that
money. And they
you
definitely had the skills. They have, it's almost, I felt good, but then it was like, man, where are my boys at? Like, we're the ones that need to be in here too. And, what do I have to do to get them out of the house and off the couch or whatever they're doing on Saturday mornings to come and get some of this wealthy information? But they showed us a great amount of respect. It was a really, really good event. We're going to come back in the fall, but we've got New York and Charlotte on the schedule next. But it is just a phenomenal workshop. I implore anyone who has children or even young adults. There were mothers and grandmothers sitting in the workshop, listening and taking notes. They filled out the surveys at the end and everything because they sat through the whole workshop.
Well, yeah, because if you weren't taught it, you still don't know it. Age doesn't, just because you're older doesn't mean
it's not just because that's where I'm targeting is those middle schoolers. That doesn't mean that a 50 or 60-year-old man doesn't know this information, which most people don't. Most 50 or 60-year-old men don't, and they're businessmen. They call themselves businessmen, and they do not understand compound interest. They don't understand, amortization or any of those things that you will have to deal with in your life. Even if you just work, you're going to have to calculate your taxes. You're going to have to learn how to invest. You're going to have to learn how to save. And you got to learn what's your mortgage? How do I read this mortgage statement? What am I looking at? What is inflation? And so these things you're going to have to deal with in life, but they're rarely taught. We'd rather teach geometry, and things that we'll never use for the rest of our lives.
I haven't used geometry. I don't know when.
I'm not arguing with that one.
Unless you're an engineer or an architect.
Right.
You're probably not going to use, have to know what an isosceles triangle is or, what a right angle is used for.
Definitely know when to pay a bill.
Right.
That's definitely going to happen.
When bills come around in your mail, that's not going to get
you will know how to count to 31 days.
So now talk to me about the transition from the NFL. Like, I always think that this is must be a really hard time. Like you decide you're going to retire, it's over. Do you sit around and go, what am I going to do next? Talk to me about that transition, how easy or difficult it was to make.
I thought it would be easy. I didn't really have an issue with retiring. I played 12 years, and my body was telling me it's time. My mind, of course, wanted to play. I love the sport. I was passionate about it. I love the camaraderie and the locker rooms and the brotherhood. But my body was just said it's enough. Like, we know it's enough. If we can squeeze out another one, let's do it. But, man, we're hurting here.
Right.
So when I finally decided to retire after my 12th season, it wasn't that hard of a decision. The difficult part was what came next. And that's where I thought I had a handle on what I was going to do next, and it totally shifted. Because what I thought I wanted to do next was based around my football career. Okay. So I was figuring out what I was going to do next based on what I was doing at that time.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's not – so when what you're doing in that particular time is over, your whole perception of life shifts. So now it's like, oh, man, I thought I wanted to go into TV and radio, but now I see that I don't really want to do that. And I did do that. I did that for 3 years in San Diego.
Yeah.
I did TV and radio, and it was okay, and I was okay at it, but I wasn't passionate about it. I didn't love to go. It wasn't something I was willing to work on.
Right.
And so that just kind of stayed steady. I was good enough to just be on TV and radio for my name and my, playing locally. So that got me in the door, but I really wasn't passionate about it.
You can say it, Nail. You look good in a suit. You can say it. Go ahead. You can say that. I saw you,
I'm
brother.
all right. I got some threads I can put on.
He can cut it out.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question about the classes? Have there been things that you have been surprised that people didn't know? I think there's always you're talking about mortgage and compound interest, and we can grasp that some people don't get that, but are there like things that are just so fundamental that you were surprised that weren't out there?
Yes, there is one thing that I continually, and this is probably the fourth or fifth event that I've actually held and ran with this nonprofit, and that is the simple statement of, well, it's really a question, is what's the difference between income and wealth? And no one to this day has either had the courage to raise their hands and say the answer or has given me a correct answer. And it just goes to show, and this is these are young adults, these are parents in the room, that you can try to logically figure it out by definition.
Yeah.
But the difference between income and wealth is not, you getting paid from your job,
right.
On the 30th or the 1st or 15th or whatever.
That's some income.
That is not wealth.
No.
Right.
That's going
and
outcome
what these
pretty
kids,
soon.
what these kids, these young people are into now, they think that what's shiny is wealth. So they say, okay, so my paycheck isn't my wealth, but what about my car with my rims on it, or this chain, or my earrings? And it's like, no, that's the opposite of wealth, actually.
Right.
That's a depreciating.
That's depreciation, right.
As soon as you walk out of the store, drove off the lot with that. You're in the red right out the way. So that's the opposite of what you're looking for. So a lot of these what are simple questions? I think that you and I as adults, we've kind of grown through and we've been around the mill a few times. We understand the importance of that question, but these young adults have never been asked that question. And so they cannot tell the difference between that. So really what I try to impart on them is when they leave, if it's one thing that they understand, when they leave out of those doors, that they understand what net worth is, what their net worth is, and the difference between income and wealth. And that is just a basic, if I spend 6 hours talking just till my jaw falls off and they walk out of that class with knowing those two things, I'm happy.
Right.
It's a successful workshop.
Because then you have legacy that ties in with that then, right?
Exactly.
Like
so then that grows into other things. That's just the seed that's been planted. And then they go on, they live in life and they get a job where they, hear something on TV and it's not foreign to them anymore. They can understand, capitalism and understand what our markets are doing and what they start getting into more of the economics of these things. The problem is they're not exposed to these economic issues because their socioeconomic status is so down, far below, that they don't get exposed to that.
Right.
They're not going to get it because their parents aren't exposed to that, and their friends aren't talking about it, and so it's just not in that environment.
Yeah, it's not in their wheelhouse even. Right.
But it's something that I found that in different socioeconomic environments, their parents or their uncle or their grandfather tell them about something they left in their will, or maybe hedge. They may have heard of hedge funds before, or any of these. They leave these big chunks of money behind, and they get heirs. They hear these words thrown around, which can cause for questions. But when you've never heard these words before, nobody's in your family talking about that, or leaving, college tuition, things like that behind for you. There's no reason to understand or learn what that terminology is.
Absolutely.
One of the last things that I keep hearing and being very upset by is people, young black kids particularly, don't put money in banks.
Well, go ahead, Niall. Let me say this first.
Afraid of banks?
Well, I'll be very honest with you. Some of it has to do with, at least here in DC and some of the programs that I worked with, has to do with the ID. You have to have an ID in order to open up a bank account.
Yeah.
And so some of the adjudicated youth, they've been arrested, incarcerated. It's difficult for them to get an ID. Sometimes the parents don't have all of their correct paperwork. So it takes, a village, a nation to help them get this ID because there's missing paperwork. And then an ID isn't free.
That's
so
true.
Then you have to set aside money. If you don't have your birth certificate, you've got to go down and apply for that. And that's not much, but it's like $7, I think, to get a copy. And then the ID is $35. So by the time you're done and you got to get there, and somebody's got to take off work to take you there, or you because if you're a minor, you have to have your parent with you. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times it really is about not having identification that you need in order to open up, a bank. So then we have what we do in our communities. We start these other, like the rush card. I thought that was absolutely deplorable that that he did that, where we put this money on these cards that have these absurd, rates if you want to take off money, or every time you use the card, it goes back. And so I think that, and that's why, Niall, I think what you're doing is so important, because you're changing that narrative. You're changing that story. And I just know, just here in D.C., just personally, that I've run into that with those groups. So I don't know if it's so much that, they don't like banks. I think it's back to, you can't get a bank account. And then the rules to have a bank account. Sometimes you have to have a certain amount of money in there for it to stay open. So these are pitfalls that, that easily they fall into. I remember when we got students, we all opened them bank accounts when we had the school. Everyone had a bank account. Most of them were closed out by the second semester, because they didn't know about overdrawn fees and all that kind of stuff. And so, Niall, we could have had you come and do a lesson. Those accounts would still
I'm
be
talking
open.
to the younger. I'm talking to the younger Monicas and trying to get them understanding, because I think one of the main factors, aside from it being just logistically a little difficult for definitely some incarcerated men that have been, have had records or whatever, but also just the education about it. I think our understanding of it has been, in the Black communities especially, it's just the stigma of bank.
Right.
It's not for us, and I'm just gonna keep my cash and think that everything is, I'll just trust myself with my own money. And
Cash my check
and
and
if you
stick it in a
don't
pillow.
have the education to manage your money, then that money is not, it might be safe with you while you have it, but it's not going to be safe in the long run. There's no way you can build wealth.
Right.
And that's the misunderstanding, is that, because I just got paid or something, man, I'm rich, or I can do whatever now, and you feel this empowerment. And that's not necessarily the case. That's just the beginning, because you've got bills to pay. Maybe you have kids you've got to feed. You got to put gas in the car. You got to do all these things that you have not been taught to make, like a budget in school. You just haven't, when you graduate high school, you should know how to do these things. These are staple things that you're going to have to deal with. You might not, know what X plus Y is, but you're going to have to know how to balance and budget a checkbook. You're going to have to know how to fill out a resume. You're going to have to know these social skills that they are just leaving out there, that I don't know what they're expecting us to learn from our parents, or just learn it on the run, or what.
Right.
But I know our society is built around the ignorance of that, and that's a whole nother interview.
I was going to tell you.
I'm about to get fired up.
Listen, I got to stop both of y'all because listen, Naya, I can tell you one thing. You most certainly found your passion. I didn't get to see you on the air because you were, out in San Fran or wherever you were on air. But I hear this in your voice. You are extremely passionate about this, and so I am thankful that you are out there in the community helping young people so that they can, learn these lessons early and truly change their lives and their communities oftentimes. So do me a favor here. We've got Keith Ivey we've got to get to with the Junior MBA program. Yes. Please tell people how they can get in touch with you. And if you want to do a program here in D.C., holler at me offline and we can get you out here. We can do that. I've got some connections out here in the different schools and stuff. I'd love to see this. But right now, where can people find out more information about the financial literacy program that you're doing?
You can go to assetbuilders.org, or you can look me up on Twitter or Instagram. I'm on both. Instagram was assetbuilders_USA, or just look for me, Nail Diggs. I'm on Twitter and Instagram. Feel free to reach out. And yes, we are planning on coming to DC and doing something. Yes, so we will be talking for sure in the near future.
All right, superstar, I'm going to let you go back to counting all your cash. Cha-ching, I'll holler at you soon.
Done.
Take care.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And we're actually going to take a look at your video real quick. I think we have that as we go to quick break. All right, take care.
You give me a little critique. All right.
Yeah, I will. All right, Niall. Bye.
All right, bye.
Let's see it.
12-year NFL linebacker Niall Diggs recognizes the need to continually evolve his expertise from professional athlete to sports analyst, to motivational speaker, to financial literacy advocate. For an expert play breakdown on a financial wellness program, schedule a workshop with a passionate advocate who is contributing to the financial literacy movement. Your mouth is your brand when the game ends.
There we go.
We are back, coming in live. Monica.
Okay, I have Keith Ivey on the phone from the Junior NBA. Keith, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. How you doing?
Hey, we're doing good, man. My apologies. First off, we are super short on time, so I want to tease people. That's all we're going to have time for because I know you wanted to be in-house anyway. We just couldn't get you up here this soon, but we're going to have you come back. Talk to us about the Junior NBA program. Give me your best elevator speech. Give me 30 seconds about what you're doing and what it's working and how it's working.
I pretty much, just to inform you guys about the Junior NBA. It's a youth program that is designed by the NBA where, we teach kids the fundamentals of basketball. We pretty much, working a regional campaign right now between Maryland, D.C., Virginia, and North Carolina markets dealing with the youth between ages 7 and 17 years of age, boys and girls.
Okay. And they get to meet real NBA players, correct?
Yes, my program, I put a unique twist to it where, we do a lot of things with the Washington Wizards where, I take the kids to the Washington Wizards basketball clinics and camps and, the kids actually get to do a 1 hour clinic and, being able to, go over the drills with the Washington Wizards coaching staff and, cool. They get to meet the players and all and get autographs and watch the game, whoever they compete against that night.
Okay, cool. Now, listen, talk to me real quickly about what's going on in National Harbor. Give us the tease of that.
The National Harbor, May 19th, looking to do my nonprofit launch party, to actually, support the nonprofit with, helping underprivileged student athletes.
And how can people find out more information about that event? Or are you going to keep that a secret until you get in here and talk to us about it?
Yeah, I'm still working on the gist right now, but they can always go to Keith Ivey Junior NBA program.com and get more information on different events that I'm currently hosting.
Okay, perfect. So right now, Keith, the main thing they can do is look you up, and there's sponsorship opportunities, I'm sure, for that in May, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Perfect. All right, give out your how they can contact you one more time, and then promise us that you're going to come in because we got to rock and roll and get out of here because it's almost time for Thursday Night Tea with Anthony.
I'm so excited.
So tell everybody, how can they get in contact with you, Keith? One more time.
Yep, contact. You can follow me on Instagram at official_KI Junior NBA, or you can go to Facebook, which is Keith Ivey Junior NBA.
Perfect. And we're going to also post that real quick. I think we have a screenshot of that information. And so those of you that are watching also, if he said that too quickly, you'll be able to find it. There he is right there looking sharp in that little suit. I see you doing a little something.
Junior NBA presented by Under Armour. Sign up today.
Got an Under Armour and everything. Okay,
like
Keith, listen, thank you so much for joining us. You and I will talk offline. You have the full support of 36 Nation for this event at National Harbor, and we'll talk about sponsorship. And we definitely got to have you up here.
Keep doing good work, sir. Keep doing that good work.
Absolutely. Okay? So hit me up online. No, I appreciate you more. Thank you for everything that you're doing, especially for our kids. All right, I think that's it for us today,
That's 36 Nation. We have had a lot of fun. Good night, ladies and Monica.
Hey. He said ladies and Monica. This mother. See you guys next week.